So for today's webinar, we're really going to dive into just a quick overview of service learning and the IPARD process, and then go deeper into quality partnerships, identifying partners, and then have time for question and answer. Um, so I'd really like to start by sharing with a quick review of service learning, what it is and what it is not. So NYLC defines service learning as democracy in action. It's young people taking notice of inequities where they see them and taking steps to address them. It's educators joining in partnership with students to make education fair and meaningful for all. And it's problems that need solving: environmental justice, economic justice, human rights, safe behaviors, mental health, and it's solved by those who are least likely to be to solve them, but to whom the solution matters most. So what makes service learning work? So service learning is it's an intentional process of linking educational outcomes and community action. So there's different service, charity, and service learning. All of them have a place. NYLC really focuses on the connection to learning. So we really believe that service learning has the greatest impact both on the community as well as onto those providing the service. Successful service learning, it's multifaceted teaching and learning process. So through each service learning project is uniquely tailored to meet specific learning goals and community needs. There are several elements that are critical for success, and those are the K-12 service learning standards for quality practice. And you can see I have them up on the screen here for you to look at, and you can actually go deeper on the standards on our website. But really the one that we're focusing on here today is partnerships. We have a reflection webinar that's available on the Project Ignition website, and we will be diving deeper into youth voice, diversity, and meaningful service in future webinars. So like I say, there's opportunity to download a PDF and really dig deeper into these standards on our website. But today we're going to talk partnerships. But before we do that, I did want to just say that to implement service learning with quality, NYLC has identified 4 stages of service learning, which include identifying desired results, determining acceptable evidence, the IPARD student experience cycle, which is really where we're focusing, and then the last is the self-assessment. So IPARD is the stage 3, which is the student experience, and it stands for investigation, planning, preparation, action, reflection, and demonstration. And building partnership really lands in the investigation and planning and preparation phase of the service learning project, and that's where we're going to focus our attention today. So what makes partnerships reciprocal? Mutual partnerships with the community involve service learning participants having a collaborative, ongoing relationship with community organization or members. It ensures partners and service recipients both benefit. Partnerships typically take place between youth, educators, families, community members, community-based organizations, or businesses and corporations. Partnerships have a shared vision and common goals and feature regular two-way communication. Communication, we keep coming back to it over and over when we're working with our partners. The establishment of reciprocal partnerships in service learning is a process that really requires examination of each partner's expectations and the commitment to bridge the different cultures of each organization. Everybody operates differently, thinks differently, and so really digging into how you can really work well together, because those cultural differences can be barriers. Typically, partners co-develop and implement an action plan and share information about what assets they have, what needs they have, and what each brings to the partnership. And the result is that you have a mutual respect for each other and the contribution that each of you brings to the project. Then, so what makes it for a quality partnership? And it really, a lot of the same tenets of reciprocal partnership can be found in quality partnership. It involves bringing a variety of people together, both young and old, community-based and business and corporations, as well as government entities. So it's looking at really a very diverse group coming together to work on a common goal. Partnerships are characterized by frequent and regular communication, again, to keep everyone well informed and reporting about not only what's happening, but ensuring that you're all on the same page as far as the progress that's happening. Partners collaborate to establish a shared vision, and they set common goals to address the community need. They worked collaboratively to develop and implement action plans, and they share knowledge of school and community assets and needs and view each other as valued resources. So again, the reciprocal and quality partnerships really do go hand in hand, but you keep hearing communication and setting shared goals and action plans as really the core of ensuring a quality partnership. We get asked a lot, how can you find and identify partners for your projects? And one of the resources that we found very valuable is a community mapping exercise. Excuse me. So this is a 60-minute activity that you can do with your teams. And I'm happy to share this. It'll be available in a write-up form on the Project Ignition website. But it's a great activity that really gets you thinking about what assets you bring to your team. It helps you leverage the existing resources that you have. It helps identify new partners and gain a better understanding of the strengths and assets that everyone in your community has. So one of the first things you do is you ask if anyone has actually ever done this activity before, but you think about it as a map. So you map out who's in your community and just a giant brainstorm of everything. It's supposed to be messy and just think about every single resource that you have, that your friends have, that your family has, that your neighbors have. And it's amazing the connections that start to come to life. And again, I'm going to be sharing this activity and the write-up for it. I really recommend getting started with this when you're looking for community partners. It's amazing how many connections people can find when they when you put it all up on a wall and start mapping out what your community looks like. One of the things that has been really beneficial is actually tying it to an actual map. So we have a lot of students who, when they participate in the community mapping project, they'll actually use a map of their community to start to spark ideas. It's an opportunity to really think outside the box and find out who knows who. It's almost becomes like this spider web of a map making connections. And of course, we're always looking at the reflection process as part of that as well. And doing a gallery walk is a great way for participants to reflect on what they've put up and use write questions, help make connections to each other's maps. So you can start to see what the connections are, what possibilities exist, what further questions do you have, and what other, you'll be able to start to fit all of the pieces together. You discover a lot about your community, about yourself, and also new resources that become unveiled through the process. Oops, excuse me. There we go. I also, identifying partners, it's an important step to ensuring that your project make a lasting impact on the community. And I really encourage you to remember that NYLC and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration are partners with you in this work. And we're here to help. So if there are questions or introductions that need to be made, or you're just struggling with any part of your project, please connect with us. And we're happy to help you work through some of those challenges you may be experiencing. So I'm going to pause and see if there are any questions. I'm just going to unmute everybody and see if you have any questions about building partnerships, any challenges you're facing in that area.
Yeah. That would be a miracle.
No challenges?
I don't have any challenges in building partners here. We're having our rally on January 25th, and we have 20 different groups that are coming. We have somebody coming from the funeral home that's bringing a casket to put on display in our common area just to get kids' attention. We have people coming from the Tennessee Department of Highway Safety. They're bringing a semi-truck that has a simulator in it that shows kids the dangers of maneuvering around semi-trucks. We have Tennessee Highway Safety bringing seatbelt conversors.
Yes.
Which are like these little ramps that I guess have a chair and they go down and can feel that. And then we have a drunk goggles simulation coming. We have the hospital coming and showing hands-only CPR to the kids. So we reached out to the hospital, to the insurance agencies in our community that are servicing the group of kids that attend our school. We also reached out to the Red Cross and the police department, the fire department, EMS, anybody who in our community is related to traffic accidents. We sent them an invitation. We even have the mayor coming to speak and open our assembly for us.
That's exciting.
So I feel like in terms of us making connections, that has gone pretty well. But I did find that I had to start reaching out to these people in November.
Yeah.
For our assembly that's now in January, because I had to, first of all, find out if they were interested, then answer any additional questions that they had, work with them on scheduling so I could have everybody here on the same day. And I'm just hoping we don't have a snow day that day. That's my biggest fear.
The weather cannot be controlled. No, that's really exciting. It's exciting that everyone is responding as well as they have, because I can guarantee you that for as many success stories like it sounds like you're having, we have just as many people that struggle to get anyone to show up, or to really to create the time for something. It's extremely important, and they always say it's important, but it's not always the priority. So it's wonderful that your community is really rallying around your project. That's amazing.
I think we even also reached out to the nursing program at the local college to get them to bring nursing students to kind of talk to them about things. And we kind of asked every group who's coming, not only would they share information, literature, freebies, whatever, with our kids during the rally, but we also asked them if they would teach our kids about occupations related to their career. Nice. So we're kind of doubling this as a little bit of an opportunity to think outside the box for the kids on what can I do with my life after high school. And so we asked everybody to kind of be prepared to kind of engage with the kids on that level as well as with the safety level. And so we're hoping that that is going to pull the kids deeper into being interested in what people have to say.
That's wonderful. Are the kids prepared then to ask questions about the careers?
We have asked our faculty to incorporate something related to the rally in their curriculum. Some of them will, some of them won't. But that day it's part of our Spring Spirit Week. That's why we picked that day, because we already have crazy things going on that week anyway. But we kind of asked the teachers to try to incorporate something with driver safety, distracted driving, or careers in safety related fields into the curriculum. That way when their kids came down to the rally, they would know what to anticipate, and then also they could write reflectively about it, or they could engage in class discussion afterward. So this isn't the first time that we've done something like this. We've never done anything on this scale before, and we've never had this many groups willing to come. So we're kind of excited that it's going to be a little bit bigger than what we have done in the past. But I think probably out of the 80 teachers we have in our building, I think probably we'll get maybe 10 or 15 who really take it seriously, but that's still 10 or 15 that wouldn't have done it otherwise.
Yeah. So I know, Karen, you popped in after I kind of went through quality partnerships, but I'm wondering if you found any strategies that have been more successful in getting these groups involved. I talked a lot about communication and setting, understanding goals and progress. And have there been some strategies that have worked with getting as many organizations as you did involved in the recruitment process?
When I first reached out to people, I just said, this is what we want to do. We respect the message that your program has. Are you interested in helping with us? If so, message me back for more information. And then the ones who messaged me back, I said, here's a more detailed plan of what we have, and these are the ways that you can help us. And I gave them options like, you can manage a booth and just pass out literature and answer questions. If you wanted to have an audience, you could talk in some of the classrooms, and we could pick out some classrooms and schedule you to speak directly to groups of kids. You could bring any simulators or activities that you feel are engaging, or you can speak at our big assembly, which is a school-wide assembly. I think giving them options made it a little bit better. I encouraged them, if the ones who were willing, to reach out to other people who they knew, who maybe they had worked with in other events or whatever, other meetings. A lot of the people in safety are interconnected.
Yeah.
So they helped me find other people. And then I just kept generating the same information out to everybody. And I found that a lot of people, once they found somebody who they respected and trusted, who was going to be a participant, then they were more willing to join as well. So that kind of helped. So I think almost doing a bigger event makes it easier than doing a little one in that regard, because there's strength in numbers and people feel less vulnerable about having to carry the weight of the whole event.
Yep.
If it's just a small group of people.
Yep. That's wonderful. So I think I was hearing a consistent message, using the folks that you get on board as assets to reach others, because it's such an interconnected world. That's great. Does anyone else have any questions or ideas or comments about partners and recruitment, or just want to share what you're doing? Okay. I won't pressure you. Well, I do want to thank you all for jumping on the call today. Our next webinar is going to actually be on January 31st. I'll be sending this out via email as well at 6:30 p.m. Hopefully, we'll be able to get more youth on the call as well. I think there's probably a room full of young people that I can't see on the camera with one of our groups here. But That's your group. Ananya Singh, who is the Youth Advisory Council mentor, will be joining us to help lead us through the youth and adult partnerships and kind of go more deeply into what that means and looks like. So I encourage you to get mark your calendars for that date. Again, I'll email that out to everyone, and it's on our calendar on our Project Ignition Google site. But I appreciate all the time that you guys took to join us today. And if you have questions, please know we're a resource here for you. So thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful night.